Good morning. A week of sickness, I hope, is finally coming to an end for me. I had a chest infection, and to be honest, it's probably been about 2 weeks, and I just can't shake it. But this morning I woke up, not too bad, decided to go for a walk, got halfway and thought I'm overdoing it and headed home. But it's made me feel like my lungs are breathing and I'm moving and I'm feeling quite good. And it's grocery haul day today. And I've got another busy day planning and getting some stuff up and running. So I feel like I've got more motivation doing today's video. I have not uploaded for a few days, and it's because of this here. And you'll probably notice as the more I talk in the video, the more huskier I might get. And that's just the way it is at the moment because I'm still trying to get over this damn chest infection. Grocery haul this week. I'm going to go through my groceries. Our budget, I'm bringing our budget down to $140 at the moment for a couple of reasons. Our dog is on a special diet and we get the food through our vet or our pet store. So I need to factor that into separately, sit on the side. Now, about $10 a week. It's quite expensive, the stuff that she's on. So $140. Now, I used to have it as $140 and budget red meat separately. I'm going to try and bring red meat back into my weekly shop with Coles. I've tried a few different places and that sort of thing. I do like the Costco's red meat. The Coles was fine. I was just trying to support local farmers for the past couple of years. And although they work out cheaper, I'm paying a lot up front, and then I'm juggling things around in the freezer. And where we are now with our setup isn't quite ideal for doing that kind of stuff when I'm bulk purchasing meat, like bulk purchasing boxes of red meat and bulk cooking as well. Next house we move into, I can design things a lot differently, which we are. So I might have room for like a deep freezer to maybe I do bulk meat again. But let me show you the groceries for the week. I'm under budget. I've got my receipt here from the lovely Coles team for my order this week. No discount code. And if there was a discount code, I don't think it applied to how much I spent, because I spent $137.51, if that is correct and shows up there. $137.51. There is a discount code this week with Coles. One of my group members on the Her Ordinary Mum community Facebook page posted it. I don't know what it is, but there is a discount code. So if you don't know what it is, pop over there and have a look. Check it out. Lovely group of people there who post things regularly about sales and discounts and that sort of thing. I find it really handy instead of just relying on me, because sometimes I don't check things out. I'm going to turn you around and show you our groceries for the week. And then I had a lovely person made a comment on one of my videos, I think 2 weeks ago, and she was really keen to know how I store some of my food to make it last longer. And I thought, what a great video to show for today. I haven't planned this. Like, my fridge does not look pretty. My pantry may have the odd potato that's sprouting something, but I'm going to show you because that's just how I roll. I don't stage anything, and we just get it done. So let's look at groceries first, and I'll show you what I got for $137. So to start, I got my usual dairy stuff. I've switched them around, people. Dairy used to be on that side, and pantry used to be on that side. I'm living a little. I'm living on the edge. I got 4 lots of these because my husband's been home for the week this week on holidays. I've been home sick, so I have been having more dairy, which is probably a bad thing to do with a chest infection, but I'm one of those weird people that will sit down and drink a glass of milk. Judge away. No Milo in it, no Nesquik, just a glass of milk. I got some blueberry yogurt. This brand was half price at Coles, so it came down to like $2.80, I think, for 720 grams. Pretty good price point. And my son keeps asking about blueberry yogurt, so instead of putting in like frozen blueberries or fresh blueberries into the Greek yogurt, I thought I would try this and just see if he likes the taste of it. If he does, that will actually fit into the cinchy pouches perfectly. It's kind of like a blueberry puree kind of a thing. So cinchy pouches, blueberry yogurt would be perfect for next year for school. I cooked a lot last week. You would have seen my snack video, so I'm out of butter. Our typical olive spread, I like to have 1 or 2 in the pantry going. These were on sale this week, I think $1.80 off. They used to go half price randomly. Have not gone half price for a while, so I'm keeping my eye out for them. My son came home from kindy the other day and goes, "Mum, I love sultanas." I tried to get him to eat sultanas for too long and then gave up. Now he likes them, so I bought a box. Let's see if he's actually going to eat them. If not, I might make like a sultana cake, like a date loaf cake, sultana branded though. Oh, there you go. There's something on the back about sultana, banana bread with sultanas in it. So I got those for him. If he likes them, amazing. I can make sultana bread. He can have sultanas in his lunchbox for school next year. We're working on building up to get some variety into the lunchboxes going so he's not bored and wants to eat his lunch at school next year. My son eats a lot, and I'm working on making sure he eats his food at school. Strawberries, they're looking much better than they were the past couple of weeks. Blueberries, which I just showed. Got some corn. My son was actually growing corn in our yard out the back, and it was ready to pick, and it looked like a very, very anorexic corn. Probably not quite editable, but he was wanting corn, so I grabbed the corn, and we eat them anyway. Lettuce was actually pretty good this week. I'm working on my salads video. I have been sick. It really wasn't a priority cooking a good detailed salad every night, so I'm doing more salads. That video hopefully will be up in the next week. I'm doing my best to get it out as soon as I can. Watermelon is amazing at the moment. I'm loving this time of year, so grabbed a really nice watermelon. They picked a really good one for me too. Like, that is a really good watermelon they picked for me. Loads of fruit. Avocados were pretty good this week. I think it was 3 for $4, so I grabbed 3. 2 cucumbers because I am doing more salads. And my son likes cucumbers, and he's really enjoying tomatoes. So I cut the cucumbers into like little circle discs. But I'm going to try him with some cherry tomatoes. Cut them in half. We can talk about them, look at the seeds, and he can have them for some snacks. He does not like carrot sticks, doesn't like the crunchiness of them, doesn't like chewing on them and the texture. Loves them cooked, hates them raw. So working on having cucumber more regularly and tomatoes, which then would make a great snack for his like munch and crunch for morning tea at kindy next year. I'm working really hard on getting things in place so when he does start, the food is not a stressor for him. It sounds silly, but it's just something I think I've been wanting to work on. The only dog food you'll see me purchase are these for our dog. Our dentist said they're great to help clean her teeth. They are a nice treat for her. These have not been on sale for a very long time, and they were this week, so I grabbed 2 packets of those. They're not overly cheap at all, but that's what we're gonna have to do for little miss, is grab those, and that's what we'll have to do. We used our last salsa mix the other night because we had tacos, so I like to make sure there's always one in our pantry. I prefer to make my own, but that is very convenient and handy. This is the Boost washing powder I use with the box. So there is a home brand washing powder box from Coles. I mix the two together, and it does a really nice wash on our clothes, towels and sheets. Last week I think I bought the French mustard and the Dijon mustard. I wanted the whole grain, but they didn't have any. This week it was back in stock, so I grabbed that. These were 2 for $5, and I grabbed the Australian mustard. Looks like it's got whole grain seeds through it. I don't know, never tried it before, never seen it before. So I grabbed that this week. Let's give it a go. What I'm gonna cook it in, don't know. Maybe we'll have like sausages and bread one night with like caramelized onion, sauerkraut. I could make homemade sauerkraut. I've still got cabbage in the fridge. Or I could like shave the Brussels sprouts and make like little miniature, I don't know, come up with something. I'm keen to try it and see how it goes. Apples, all that kind of stuff. And then we kind of move over into the pantry items. Now, oops, twisties. My son loves twisties, and I'm happy to give them to him. I actually prefer these than chips. These hold their shape better than a chip. So these in a lunchbox for me are a big win compared to like chips that are like just full of, you know, chips like take up this much room in a lunchbox, where the twisties kind of compact down a bit more and won't like crumble into a million pieces. And the party size bag is quite good. I just put like a clip on the end of it, leave it in the pantry, and over the coming weeks we will go through them. I wish, I've said this so many times, companies would also give an alternative to packaging. My kids love this brand. My son's good friend loves to eat these. My son loves to eat them. I'm happy to buy them. I'm really happy to buy them when they're half price. I got this box here for $2.70. I just wish they also gave an option for buying in a bag like this. I understand the packaging is convenient if you're out and you want to just like have some chips or some crackers in your handbag, whether you've got kids or not. Like I used to always have a muesli bar in my bag if I got hungry on the train going home from work. I could snack on a muesli bar. I get it. I just wish there were options for parents that had children where you put your own lunch boxes together and you literally open up the packaging, pour it into the lunchbox and throw the packaging out. Children that are quite young, and my son's school does it as well, the teachers have advised parents that they do not open packaging for the kids, because if they did, they would spend their whole entire lunch break opening up kids' packaging, and it's just not a viable thing for parents to do, for teachers to do. So they ask parents to have no packaging with them for school. Same go for these tiny teddies. My children are obsessed with 2 of the flavors, and I cannot get in a box. I can only buy it packaged like this. So I'm all for this for convenience for some people. I just wish some of the companies would just do this box here full of 1 flavor. I could put a handful and put it into the lunchbox. Or if I don't want my kids to have that much, I can give them like 3 or 4 in their lunchbox as a treat, mix in some sultanas, and that can be their snack. I think there's a big gap when it comes to these kind of things, when they could easily do something like this here. Please, 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 not that I've got Arnott's watching me or Freedom Foods watching me, but it would be really handy if these kind of brands would get on board with more environmentally friendly packaging. I love the boxes of cardboard, but I think we can go a little bit further than having what's inside the boxes as well. Some pretty good pantry staples this week. Brown sugar, I've done a lot of cooking the other week and I'm getting low on brown sugar. And then raw sugar. We use raw sugar. I have 1 sugar in my coffee, just in case you were interested to know how I have my coffee. I have a sugar or a little bit of vanilla syrup or caramel syrup, but raw sugar. Getting low on raw sugar because my kids have become obsessed with porridge, and I've got plenty of oats in the pantry, but we're going through a lot, and I like to use oats for a range of things. I like to do porridge, overnight oats, I can toast these to make my homemade muesli bars, and I sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar, raw sugar on the top with some milk when I make the porridge. So it's weird, my kids are going through a stage of wanting porridge and it's getting like warmer in the mornings. I usually have it as a winter breakfast, but that's what they want, and it's really filling them up. Like my kids are hoeing down the oats, and the quick oats cook really well. They cook quite quickly. I actually had a friend of mine who's a PT, and she was saying the brand I have purchased, which is just the Coles Quick Oats, 100% whole grain. I mean, you guys can read the front of the packaging if you really want to. But apparently she said these are better than buying some of the other bigger brand stuff because it's got like a lower sugar content in it. 100% quick oats, so it is literally just oats. Some of the other brands have actually got more processed stuff in it, and you guys know I'm not like, I mean, I've got sugars everywhere. I'm not big on sugar-free. We only use like malt syrups and that kind of thing. I don't mind sugar in proportion. I mean, we have these for goodness sake. But it was just interesting that a really cheap brand of oats is actually better than some of the other bigger brands out there. And then lastly, I grabbed the Vitabrits. They were on sale down to $4, usually $5. And our favorite bread is in stock, the Abbott's Bakery Rustic White. I am planning I'm planning my video on what foods and items I'll be repurchasing and really enjoy. And this is one of them, mainly because this freezes really well. You know, when you get bread probably more so white bread, and you freeze it, and it kind of like shrivels up into this thin, hard, crusty piece of bread, and then you toast it, and it's got no air, and it's like cardboard. This stuff here keeps its thickness when you freeze it, and when you toast it straight from the freezer to the toaster, it just keeps its shape and texture and stays fresh like this for sandwiches for a good 2-3 days before I need to put it into the fridge or freezer. And we really like it, and it's been great for my husband's digestive health. He's not having any troubles with his gut when he's going to eat this kind of bread, and then he goes and has something that's full of like oats or Vitabrits, for example, and it's got too much grain in it, and he's finding he's getting gut issues. I won't go into detail, but this bread here has been really, really good. The other thing I did purchase were some wraps. Now, I have not purchased these wraps before. I did have down the Coles wraps. I bought them plenty of times before, the Coles home brand wraps. I think it's like $4 and you get 8 of them. They didn't have them in stock, and they substituted me with these. These are very soft and very fluffy, slightly bigger than the Coles ones as well. So I didn't pay the price point of these ones here. I paid the price point of the Coles brand one. Because for lunches, I'm literally having the leftover salad from the night before, the leftover veggies, cooking up some of those chicken Stegel crispy things I purchased the other week, and I bought like 50 boxes of them, and making them into a wrap, kind of like that for lunchtime. But these feel really soft and nice, so keen to give them a go. How much they are, I don't know, but let's just see how we end up trying them this week with my lunches. So that is the grocery haul for the week. I am really happy with the things I purchased. There were some big expenditures, although on sale this week, but I still came in under budget. And something that you'll notice with my grocery hauls is I'll go for like 1 or 2 weeks and there won't be any protein. No chicken, no raw red meat, nothing like that there. And then the next week I'll buy like fish, chicken, steaks and that kind of thing. So I think next week will probably be less of the pantry kind of things, and that money will go towards some protein things, because protein doesn't really go on sale unless you pop into the store and there's like a clearance item or something. So I kind of balance it out. Got some great pantry things on sale this week. Next week I'll probably grab like some chicken and bits and pieces. Not that I need it, because my freezer is pretty well stocked at the moment. I've still got plenty of meats up the back and that sort of thing. I'm loving these bags for freezing. My little filing system is doing so well. Okay, but now let's talk about how I store some things. Again, did not plan this. I saw the comment, I need to reply to the person that did write it, because I thought it was a great thing to do. Oh dear. I thought it was a great thing to do, and I've literally thought this morning, hey, let's share how I store some things. I'm literally sitting on the floor in my pantry. I'm going to show you where I store like my potatoes, onions and garlic. So this is the bottom of the pantry. It's cooler down below compared to up the top, and I'm underneath one of the shelving, so it's a lot more darker underneath here than it is compared to some of these shelves where I've got the natural light from outside coming in, and when the lights go on, that lights up more than down here. So I got these baskets here ages ago from Kmart. They're actually collapsible ones. You cannot get them anymore, but they've got similar ones, and so do IKEA. When we move house, I'm actually changing this just to a different style of basket, but it's all open and breathable. So in one, I've got all of my potatoes. Now, these white potatoes here, I would have purchased probably 4 weeks ago, and they're fine. They're not the perfect, beautiful white looking. They've got a little bit of green coming in on them. They still cook fine. Some of the potatoes in here I've had for probably 4 or so weeks. Nothing is moldy. Nothing has gone off. It's got full ventilation across the bottom and around the sides. I don't have a lid for it. It just breathes in a cool, not damp, but like a cool dark spot in my pantry. So this is when the light hits it, and I've actually got it sitting underneath the shelving where it's nice and dark. So I can get 4 to 6 weeks out of my potatoes from purchasing them to actually consuming them. Now, this is my sweet potato sitting here. Obviously I need to do something with those ones there. They're fine. This is where people get confused about only buying produce that look a certain way. There is nothing wrong with these sweet potatoes. They've obviously gotten a bit of light to them and they're sprouting. If I was to plant that in the ground, I'd actually grow more sweet potato, or I can just get my knife and when I'm prepping it, cut them off. It's just on the outside of the sweet potato. They are still totally fine. So in this one here, I tend to put my garlic in the bottom. I've got too many sweet potatoes. You guys know the other month it was like 3 sweet potatoes coming out of my ears, and I grabbed a lot of sweet potatoes. So I'm slowly working my way through them, but I keep my onions, my garlic, my sweet potatoes all in the same basket. This has got the light and natural light coming in underneath the shelving where it's nice and dark, kind of like moody underneath here. When we move, I need to find another location like this. Maybe it's not in my pantry. Maybe it needs to be in a different spot, but that is how I get a really good life out of my potatoes, my root vegetables and that sort of thing. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but some of the other things I have found is actually having really good storage containers. These are from IKEA. They're huge bins. That's got the oats in it for the kids. That's got the rice and that's got flour. I love these here because I'm avoiding getting any weevils. I did get an outbreak once of weevils in, I think, my rice. And once you get weevils, it's just an absolute nightmare to remove them. Like, you need to empty everything and wash everything. So really good storage containers for some of my produce. I put the kids' cereals into some as well. These containers have been great. They were from Kmart. I got them 4 years ago maybe. I don't know if they have them anymore. They're the push down ones there. I don't think they're completely seal proof like these ones from IKEA are, but I mean, I've got complete freshness in them. They work really well. I don't think the seals are the best, but I honestly cannot complain. I get freshness for weeks and weeks and weeks out of these containers here. Just being completely honest, they're probably a better quality than these ones, but I've never had an issue with these ones. Same as these ones here. These jars are all from Kmart as well. I've got like tea, coffee, Bailey's, my herbs in them. I've never had an issue. So storing things in an airtight container makes a massive difference. Now, strangely or not, when it comes to like chips and crackers, I tried this the other week and I was a bit like, oh my god. I don't do it all the time because you would have seen it in the pantry. I've got like open biscuits in like those sealed containers, but I don't know where I heard it from. I think I was reading something like that. Just sounds really weird, but there was a lady and she recommended putting your packaged chips, your open box of crackers into the freezer. I got none in here at the moment, but she was putting her like half open back box of Jatz crackers, like sealing them up in like a bag like this here, putting them into the freezer, and she said they lasted forever, kept the freshness. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I do it with my bread. So I tried it with some chips we had the other week. We had like the nacho triangle corn chips, and I put them into the freezer. Oh my goodness. We went through them really quickly. Sorry, I should turn you around like this. We went through them really quickly, but they just tasted crispier and fresher. I was just like, wow, this is something I need to do. I don't have a great freezer space to do it for all of my things, but maybe something that you wouldn't go through a lot. So if we've got guests over and we're gonna have like some water crackers with the cheese platter, and then you got like some water crackers left over and you're like, oh, I'll just put them into the pantry. No, don't. Get a Ziploc bag, put a clip on it, put it into a container, put it into the freezer, and the next time you wanna use it, take it out. Oh, it's really, really good. And then you get this weird eating like a twisty. I haven't tried it with twisties, but eating a cold, crisp twisty, I bet you it tastes really good. So that's a weird tip I want to share with you on how I could store more of my pantry items in the freezer. I'm doing it for chips only, like open packets of chips and that sort of thing. Putting like one of those clippy things to like lock it and then putting it into the freezer. Oh, tastes really good. Okay, next I'm taking you into the fridge. Don't judge my fridge. I told you this was like, I mean, you saw my sweet potatoes growing. A family of fronds coming off of it. Carrots. So I do this for carrots and I also do this for celery. Peel them, cut them, prep them into a container, fill up with water. These have been in here for almost 2 weeks and I change the water like every 2 or 3 days. I chuck the water out on our veggie garden. They are still really crispy and fresh. I don't know what it is, but it works really well. And it also makes my dinner prep crunchy so much quicker. I pull out 5 or 6 bits of carrot, put them into the pot. No peeling, no cutting. I do a whole bag at once. That container I got from IKEA, a whole bag of carrots that I peel and cut, fit into there perfectly, fill it with water. I'm set, usually for a week. We've had a rough week with me being sick. I'm not gonna lie. We've had like tin baked beans and 2-minute noodles for dinner. So the energy has just been completely depleted. But that is a really good game changer. And celery. I do it for celery as well in the winter months when I'm having like stews and that kind of thing. Because you never go through a whole celery stick before it gets like soggy and sad in the fridge. Into one of those containers with water, you'll be set. And probably the last thing I can share, because I'm kind of working off a whim here. I'm sure there's more I could do. Just haven't really thought through the process in detail and written things down, and I don't have the food to physically show you. I store things in sealed containers. I don't have carrots loosely sitting in a tray like this. Everything is in a container. There's no like holes with the lid just sitting on it. I have sealed containers. They're from IKEA. Some of them are from Kmart, but a sealed container. These are my jelly things I made the other day for the kids. They really enjoyed them and that was the last they're going to get through. A sealed container. These have been in here since last week's grocery haul. Still fresh. I have no paper towel in the bottom. Fresh spinach. Sealed container. Crunchy spinach leaves. If I don't put them into a container, sealed container, they go soggy on me. So I do my best to put everything into containers with lids on them. So this is actually my container drawer here. That is a lid I got from IKEA that fits like the round containers there. And then I've got some other ones. They're IKEA ones with a really good seal, and the Kmart ones also have a really good seal on them. If I don't have a lid that fits them, you might have seen in the pantry, I actually use the beeswax wraps, which is that one there. They actually give like a really good protection and coating over the food that I've wrapped up. I've got more in here as well. And they do a really good job than having food just openly sitting in the fridge. I find it quite ironic. You see those Instagram or YouTube people that are like the healthy people, and they show their fridge and everything's like freshly sitting there, not in containers, just like raw on the shelf. I'm like, that would go off in my fridge in like 2 days because it just starts to get soggy in the fridge. It's not really stored correctly. So that's some things on how I store items of food in our home. So I'm sure I've missed items and that sort of thing. If you store something in a certain way and you think it increases the longevity of the food, let me know. I was watching ABC or SBS News the other night, and they were saying that fuel prices are going through the roof, and the cost of living is going to start to really soar. And they're saying that the matching of wages to the living is kind of like doing this here. So the last thing you want to do is have produce in your home that's gone off, that you've worked really hard for, and that you literally are throwing out. When you throw food out, you're literally throwing not just money out and food that you could have eaten out, but someone's hard work. I look at that thinking, someone had to grow this avocado, feed it, water it, nurture it, pick it, package it, bring it into the shops, and then my hand picks it up and purchases it, leaves it in my fruit bowl for 4 days, and it goes off. Maybe that's another thing I could share. Avocados and tomatoes I keep in my freezer when they start to go off. So You know, when you got tomatoes in your fridge and you think, that one's a bit too soft to eat, it would go on a salad. I chuck it in my freezer. Come winter, I don't need to use tinned tomatoes because I've got so many frozen, you would have seen them sometimes, I've got bags of frozen tomatoes. I add them to my stews. I make my spaghetti bolognese sauce with them. No wastage there. When it comes to avocados, if they start to get a bit on the, I've got 4 of them and they're all ready to eat like right now, I chuck them into the freezer. When I want to use them, pull them out, let it defrost, mash it up, make a guacamole, put it on some nachos for dinner or tacos, and it's perfect. So I'm trying really hard not to waste food there, but I would like to know if you've got any tips on how you store things differently and how you make them last longer. I have tried things. I've tried cutting up strawberries, putting them in a glass container. I found they just went moldy. Picking grapes off the vine, for example, or just leaving them on the vine and picking them off when you need them. They last longer because they're in their natural state than picking them off and you've got the end bit exposed, it's open. They'll start to go off quicker. With the strawberries, that's why with my strawberries, I literally put them straight into the glass container like this. I don't take the ends off of them because when I do that, I have found they start to go a bit manky quicker than leaving them in their natural form with the green bits on them, as my kids call them. But that is what I've kind of brought for you guys today. The grocery haul, a couple of tips on how I store food to make it last longer. Be interested to know if people buy in bulk, like go to the Costco's and those kind of places in Australia, or I think there's Sam's Club in America, and what's the other one, Trader Joe's, where you can buy like bulk. How do you store it? Or do you have a large family and you go through it quite quickly? Or do you do what I do, buy like bulk and then like food prep for days on end, and you've got like the best deep freezer possible and you put it all in there and you're ready to go? I'd love to know. That is today's grocery haul. My energy levels are slowly getting back and I'm hoping to have my video schedule back up and running. Gee, it's been a rough 2 months with some family things and then me getting sick, and now we're going into like Christmas and that kind of thing. Oh, you blink and 2021's over and done with. Not sure if that's a bad thing or not. That is today's haul though. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep well and we'll talk soon. Bye. Thank you.